Welcome back to Let's Talk Careers. I'm so excited to bring another incredible guest. Today, we are zooming around the world to Slovakia, where we meet with Natalia Antosova, who is the founder and CEO of EFC Education and Finance Center. Welcome, Natalia. I'm so excited to have you with me today.
Thank you very much. And for the introduction, I'm really glad to have the meeting all around the world.
It's so exciting to be able to bring this. I think I'm even more excited that you're going to be talking about one of the hottest topics that parents, educators, and young people are really concerned about, and that's about their financing and learning about finance. But before we get into that, I thought I want to take you back to when you were a teenager. I know that you were interested in languages and behavior economics, but when did you know that being the founder and CEO of an organization was what you wanted to do?
Well, it was always in my character or the essence. So before I knew what am I going to do in the life, I knew some features of myself. So I wanted to work with people. I wanted to be international. And I always wanted to be in a kind of a leading position, but it's not like the ego thing. Like, I do respect authorities and I like to hear the critics, yeah, so that I can improve. But I am naturally, people follow what I say or what I can argue or argument. Just people just say, well, you're right. So that's how I found that probably I'm a natural leader. And then all my education has followed up. And it was all around this economics and behavior of people in certain situations, right? So, and as well, it was international. Thanks to my university here in Slovakia, there was already international program offered. It was agricultural economics and international business. It was already in English, so I was able to meet many international students and professors as well, which gave me the perfect platform to kick off to the world. And I always just felt what is right and what is not. So I was always trying to stay connected to my feelings, because sometimes the wisdom does not tell you enough. Yeah? You don't have enough experience, especially as a young person. You have nowhere to have the experience from while you're young. So the emotion and the good or bad feeling is that's what was giving me directions, what to do and how to decide in life.
That's really interesting that you've brought in both the soft skills and the hard skills, which is what we describe to young people and how you've gained that experiences. Now, let's talk about finances. Young people that look at professionals in the world of finances, they tend to look a certain way or be a certain gender. What's it like for you in that financial world, having to be a woman on an international platform and trying to gain visibility to ensure that young people are being given quality financial literacy?
Yeah, I know what you're asking about. And yes, this question of men and women equality or inequality is vital, even here in Slovakia or in Europe. But I am trying to take advantage from the fact that I am woman, not looking at it from the other perspective, like I might be disadvantaged. Well, I'm advantaged, yeah, because I feel like I can just connect what you have just said to have the specific kind of thinking, which is structural and goal oriented, but blended with this art of soft skills, right? So it's kind of a unique blend that women have naturally. And so this is what I am using in the context of financial literacy. In the same place, for example, I had a boyfriend, and his goal was to get into the mergers and acquisitions of KPMG. So he was goal oriented from the age of 18, and at the age of 28 he's already there. Okay? So he got there, and it was like very men kind of thinking, very much goal oriented and straightforward. While I, as a woman, I create all around it. Yeah, I'm as well goal oriented, but I create the world all around my goal as well. So it takes time, and as well it takes the emotion, and the emotion is something that I offer even in financial literacy courses. I'm finally getting there. Yeah. So what I see on our lectures for children about on the financial literacy courses is that it's the emotion that makes them come back,
Mhm.
that makes them want to learn. It's the emotion, because the children they're like from 8 years old to 18. They might not remember my brand name. They might not remember like what was written on this and this slide, but they remember the emotion that they are getting from the lecturer. So I am still lecturing, I'm teaching as well as I have other teachers that are teaching on our courses, both online or at schools. And they are chosen really specifically and mindfully to be good teachers, but as well be kind of an actor, be able to attract the children and be their guide. Because like for in 10 or 20 years, when these kids are going to be adult, they are going to remember what the teacher was telling them
Mm.
and how that felt, right? So this is the kind of teaching that I'm trying to promote, that stays in you for a long time. It goes with the emotion.
That's incredible. I really appreciate that you brought in that component of education. I think often we forget about the emotional cycle of teaching and that connection between teacher and student. And I think you're right. In my experience as well as being a learner, I very often remember how a teacher made me feel or a professor made me feel taking their course. The content, unless you kind of interconnect it with lived experiences, you can easily forget a lot of the content you learn, but definitely those relationships are very important. Now, in your work as an entrepreneur, what are some of the components of your work that you do that your degree in agricultural economics? I mean, you did your master's in agricultural economics, and you also did international trade at Slovak Agricultural University for your undergraduate. You know, being an entrepreneur and working in the financial sector, how did you take what you've learned from your master's degree at Louisiana State University and your undergraduate degree from Slovak University, and how does it play into the work that you do, or did it prepare you for where you are right now?
Yes, absolutely. It prepared me because first I saw a huge difference in the form and the way of teaching between Slovakia and the United States. So in Slovakia, I got this language boost, yeah, because all the studies were in English, all the economic terms were in English. So it opened the doors with the language, right? Now today's kids, they just speak their languages since they're small kids, yeah. But like in my age a few years ago, it was not something to be taken for granted, yeah, to speak language, to speak foreign language. So then the biggest change happened in this Louisiana State University, because it was the educational system that I was inspired by and I wanted to bring back to Slovakia. It was something inspiring to me, and it was promoting your self development and the self goal orientation. And most of all, I could see students. I haven't seen anyone being lazy there. Yeah, everybody was just studying, and when there was an exam week, everybody was taking it seriously. Nobody just said, "Oh, we will handle it somehow." Everybody was studying. So all this atmosphere, again, it was full of emotions, like very study-oriented emotions. Of course, we had game days and tailgates, right, and all these parties. But when we were studying, it was inspiring to me the way we were led by our professors. Yeah, they were more of a leaders or guides than teachers. Yeah, so most of the stuff we learned by ourselves. They just guided us the right direction. And this educational system was inspiring to me, and I wanted to bring it to Slovakia so that the children in Slovakia would get the similar opportunity that I got, so that even our children get the opportunity of this kind of fun learning, because all the time I was just thinking that learning is just a must, and you have to go through it and somehow survive learning. But actually the brain is made to learn all the time. Yeah. So now when we are teaching children, we are doing it as well in a more like the lecture is a guide, right? And the kids are discovering new worlds of finance in very interesting ways. Of course, we play games, we watch videos, we have discussions. So the children they put their brains in from the beginning till the end. Yeah, so they are discovering, exploring this financial literacy, financial world. Of course, the program is made by us relevant to their age. Yeah, so I'm not going deep into indices with 8 years olds. Yeah,
Yes, of course. Yeah.
yeah, of course. So it's all made by us ahead of time, but the kids feel like they're having fun.
Now, for a young girl looking up at you and saying, how did you find the world of being an entrepreneur? What's it like for you, Natalia, to be an entrepreneur and to run your own company?
Yeah, so it was natural development. First, I got employed, right? And it's good to be employed, especially after you graduate. You still need to get a real life habit of going to work, of being responsible, of having to report to your boss. Yeah. So before you actually get your own discipline, you need to be disciplined by a boss. Yeah,
Mm.
by working time. Yeah, and many times you have to undergo things that you think are not worthy doing it, but you have to do it because the boss said it. Yeah, so even in our lectures, there are many, like even from parents, there are like ideas. The schools are just making students or preparing them to be employees, like a general idea. But I'm saying employee and entrepreneurs have equal benefits and disadvantages, and we need employees in our companies, and we need good employees as well. So at first I was an employee in the state enterprise, and I got the opportunity to be promoted. So I became the chief financial officer of the exhibition center, which is nation held organization, and we were organizing expos similar to one Guess Dubai, but some of them were like kind of bigger. And I was responsible for the investment side, because besides the exhibitions, the enterprise had to be like renovated. So I was responsible for the investment, for public procurement, and so on. And I was reporting to my boss, who was the director of exhibition center, and he was reporting directly to the Minister of Agriculture. So we were in quite a position which was responsible, but still we had to undergo these daily tasks like employees have to. Yeah. And at some point when I ended up at this role, I told myself, okay, I feel that I gained enough skills to be governed by myself, yeah, to be my own boss. Yeah. So financially, I went from here to here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just made a startup, which was financial literacy school, which nobody else had before and still has, right? And I realized that I have to educate the market about what is the financial literacy. It would be easier if I just started selling socks, because everybody knows socks are needed and important. But financial literacy, sometimes people don't even know the word. What does that mean? Yeah. So I went to this while being an entrepreneur. I had to still cover my expenses. So now it can you can ask, like, what are you living from while you are building your startup in financial education? So my company is doing marketing for other companies. Yeah. So it's kind of a safe land where I'm still self-employed and still have to deal with my time schedule by myself. And sometimes it's like overwhelming. I feel like burnout. Yeah. But this is like this marketing, doing marketing for other companies is providing monthly income into the company. So this is what makes me, or helped me, survive the first era of financial literacy, when it was just evolving like a first leaf of the seed that you just put into ground and waiting what happens.
I really appreciate that you brought that to the interview, because often when I interview entrepreneurs, they omit that part, the building part, the being new, and especially I can relate to the educating the market, because it's a new service or it's a new concept. Now, for a young person right now, not sure about what they want to do, or thinking they definitely want to do something around finance, now that you're the owner of a company, what do you look for in future talent? Because this can help them thinking about how to prepare for a job interview with an organization like yours.
Yeah, so if they were trying to apply for a position in my company, what would I look for, right? So my if I'm looking for a lecturer, or a person who gets in contact with parents or directly with children, I'm looking for this teaching background, education background on the first place, languages proficiency, like English. For example, in the UAE, I'm looking for, actually, I'm doing this, yeah. I'm looking for the lecturers with the teaching background who speak Arabic and English, yeah, so they can talk to children having courses in the UAE of financial literacy. And the character side, the person, man or woman, should be inspirational, and should have a close, he or she should have a close relationship to teens or children. To me, it helped. I have 7 years younger brother. Yeah? He's now 23, but when he was a teenager, I was already an adult. And first, most of the time, it was full of arguments. But then I learned what are these millennials thinking about, and what is their way they see the world. And now I'm really glad, because I have really close relationship with my teens in my classrooms. They take me like, they still respect me, but I am more than a regular teacher. Yeah, I'm like their kind of friend. So being friendly and having close relationships to youngsters, it makes a lot of difference. Yeah, I actually hired one girl who has all these good things and has a relationship to teenagers, but she doesn't have teaching education. But I still hired her, and she is one of the best. Yeah. So that I'm telling this so that they know that the education is very important, the background is important, but there are even more important individual characteristics that you cannot fake, you cannot lie, you cannot just write it to your resume and wait what happens.
Yes,
You have
so
to have.
true. That is so, so true. Natalia, amazing, amazing. As we're bringing this to a wrap, if I'm a parent looking for support to help my teenager with financial literacy, what are some of your tips and how can they find you?
So we have full like a kind of a PDF full of tips for parents, because some parents arrive to me and when their kids are less than 6 and they want to like sign them into my courses. So at this point, I tell them, like, these small children are learning by playing, and the most you can give them is give them your time while they are still small. So play at home with coins, with flags and countries and coins. Yeah, play a toy shop game, play a doctor, and you can play insurance game as well. Yeah, with these little ones. And then from the age of 7 or actually 8 years old, they can sign up to our first course, which is called My First Money, where we learn to know the currency and so on, but we actually go to budgeting, saving money for our goals. We're trying to make them realize what costs the family has, that the light they turn on in the evening, somebody's paying for it. Yeah, the internet is running on electricity, somebody's paying on it. Yeah, so we are learning this stuff while playing and making games and crafts and so on, videos and singing. So it's also very, very, very entertaining. And then we have got these our money and values, or money smarts. It's from 11 to 14 years old. It's like a middle group. And our children are learning about the external world in respect to money. Yeah. So what is expensive and what is not, and what's the relativity between what I need, what I want. Yeah.
Mm.
Of course, we touch the quite in a broader sense the aspects of the loan, of getting in debt, when it's all right, when it's not getting in debt, right? And we are talking as well about the future, about the essence of investments. Why do people invest? And children are so much interested in crypto. All hands go up when we mention crypto, or how YouTubers make money, how influencers can make money on internet, how gamers make money. There is a big exhibition in Dubai about gaming coming up. So this might be really like entertaining for them. And with and I'm wrapping this up with the most sold out course, and that's the one for teenagers. And it's called Business and Money. And this is a course where we blend financial literacy topics with startups and how to create a startup, but not only in the legal way, but we are teaching them how to look on the world and see the opportunities. Yeah, not to just be in the world like a passive person, but how to look on the opportunities, what can be improved. Yeah, how to look for niche, how to get the idea. Yeah, and then we are talking about business plan, marketing plan, what does it cost to build a startup, and so on. Yeah, so this is really cool for teenagers, because they are soon to be adult. So it's very much specific and practical, so that very soon they can use the knowledge in a real life.
I love it. I feel like I want to sign up for the courses, Natalia. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for reaching out and meeting with me here in Dubai. I'm so excited to join you on this journey. And I know that you have a lot of experience to be offering, not just in financial literacy, but I think for those budding entrepreneurs, there's a lot for them to be learning. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for the time that you allowed me to talk about my passion, my courses, and I'm going to do this for another 20 years, so anybody can find me.
Amazing, amazing. And thank you everybody for watching. That brings us right to the end of another incredible conversation. Today we were speaking with Natalia Antosova, who is the founder and CEO of EFC Education and Finance Center. I'll see you at our next Let's Talk Careers with Ms. V.